schools, corporation low government schools where many times only the poorer people send their children. And when she made this cognitive analysis, one could see a very strong correlation between the intake of micronutrients to fortified salt. I think there is a significant improvement in the letter cancellation test and so on. The various tests which are available today, standard tests, to address the cognitive abilities of children. So there is evidence, and this is not very expensive, which is not very difficult to do it, can be done. The fourth is, how do you get employment? Because you have to have income. Mahatma Gandhi, I showed a slide in which Mahatma Gandhi said, where there is income, there is food. That's why you give them some work. And where there is work, there is income. That's a very important formulation of Gandhiji, that where there is work, there is income, and where there is income, there is food. Throughout history, you don't find any rich man having died out of hunger. Even during the Bengal famine, if you read Amartya Sen and others will show that while women, children, men were dying out of hunger outside the Great Eastern Hotel in Kolkata, you find other people were whining and dining inside. Therefore, it has been a part of this history of humankind, of hunger being the only of the poverty and hunger. That's why the UN Millennium Development Goal has linked poverty and hunger together. Self-employment, again we quote nowadays China. When China started, Deng Xiaoping was a very wise man when he joined. China, unlike us, started their economic liberation or economic renaissance from agriculture and rural development. They didn't start from industry. Industry grew out of it. But they started their whole reform process from the villages, from agriculture upwards. Starting from the grassroots, you went up, didn't go from top down. And they had a two-pronged strategy for their agriculture. Even today, somebody was saying today, I saw in one of the television interview, China has not the problem of SCEZ because land is socially owned, it is not individually owned. It's all government land but has been individually cultivated. You are almost a tenant in perpetuity in terms of your ability to. So what they have done is they have, on the one hand, improvement of productivity of small farms, on the other hand, taking out large numbers of people, hundreds of millions, from the on-farm to the non-farm employment through the township village enterprises. This has proved to them a very good thing today in terms of their outsourcing capability, not in IT and high-tech industries alone, but in ordinary manufacture. They have an edge because they have an infrastructure by which they will be able to take on these jobs. The fifth issue is the productivity of small and profitability of small holdings. This is where management experts like you can help, because we need a small farm management revolution. How do you give the power and economy of scale to very small producers having one acre, half acre, 1 hectare? The Chinese have done it because their holdings are also very small. The Japanese have done it, the Taiwanese have done, but we have not, our management experts have not given enough thought, except today you say go to contract cultivation or go out of farming, sell your land and go do something else. These are not the advice one should give. Agriculture, the backbone of the livelihood security system. It is not just a food producing machine, it is the very backbone of the livelihood security system of 2/3 of the population. Therefore, farmers constitute the largest proportion of consumers. Nearly 80% of the farms are very small farms, and therefore it is important to have a method improving small farm productivity. If I produce from 1 hectare, 1 acre of paddy, then I have 1 ton of paddy, I have hardly anything to sell. But if you produce 5 tons from, what is the scope for it? Again, I want to only show, I don't want to, if you want, those of you, particularly students here, you want to have the PowerPoint slides in which data are available, please do take it from your director. But what I want to show is gradually in our country, from small farms, getting fragmented. Small farm, it becoming divided among family members. So gradually increase of marginal farm. You see, between 2003 and 1971, there were 62% marginal farmers. Now, 3 years ago, it was 79, 80%. This is but natural. You will find a corresponding drop in the small farm, but increase in marginal farms. In other words, there is more and more fragmentation of the property. If a father has 3 sons or something, now In the Hindu Succession Act, also for the first time has given land rights to women, and that's a very important step. Then you get it divided. But how do you then, you may have ownership, but how do you then, like a self-help group or a cooperative society, the reason why, for example, we are on top of the world in milk production. We were producing 15 or 16 million tons of milk in 1950. This year it is 100 million tons, 6 times more. People like Dr. Kurian started the work not at the end of production, start the end of marketing and pricing. Processing, marketing and pricing, and that did the rest of the trick. In other words, then, if I get a fair